All right, hi guys. I wanted to give you just a quick lesson because some of you have been struggling with your rounding to the nearest 10 and 100. So I wanted to give you a quick lesson on how to do this type of stuff. So the rule for rounding to the nearest tens place is to kind of think about where the number would fall on the number line. So let's say if you're trying to round 74 to the nearest 10, you can think about, okay, 74 is here on the number line. 75 would be smack dab in the middle between 70 and 80. And so since 74 is not even past halfway, it's closer to jump backwards to 70. So when I round 70 to the nearest 10, or 74 to the nearest 10, it's closer to 70 than it is to 80. So we would round to 70. Got it right. And so we're going to round these numbers on the bottom to either 80 or 90 based on how they would round. So when I think about 84 on the number line, 85 is smack dab in the middle. 84 would be to the left of that. So this is going to go closer to 80. 86, well, 85 is in the middle. 86 would be to the right of that. So 86 is going to go closer to 90. 89 on the number line would be over here, really close to 90. So it's going to round to 90. And 87 is maybe about right there. So closer to 90 than it is to 80. Okay, so the rule for rounding with hundreds is just the same. You're thinking about this number 162, but instead of thinking about does it go to 10 or 20, you're thinking about does it go to 100 or does it go to 200? So smack dab in between 100 and 200 would be 150, and 162 would be somewhere over here on the right-hand side. And so 162 is closer to 200 as it rounds to the nearest 100. And so we're going to practice these. 390 on the number line would be further to the right, close to 400. 317 would be over here. 339, halfway was 350, so 339 is going to be less. And 365, well, 350 is in the middle, so 365 would be somewhere to the right. And so this one's going to go to 400. The other thing you'll notice is that when I'm rounding to the nearest 100, I actually look at the tens place, the 6 and the 9 here. The numbers that are 5 or bigger are going and rounding up to the 400. Whereas in the 10 place over here, the 3 and the 1, anything that's smaller than 5 rounds down and stays at just 300. Let's check the next one out. So we have to round 3,202 to the nearest 100. So when I look in here in the hundreds place, my hundreds place is a 2. So I'm going to look behind that number at the bossy number, really. The bossy number is the 0. The 0 tells you what to do with that 2. If the 0 is a 5 or bigger, then you're going to make that 2 go up to a 3. It's not, it's just a 0. So we're going to leave the 3 and the 2 just as they were. And anything behind that number that you're rounding to goes to zeros. So these other two numbers change to zeros. So which student correctly rounded the numbers, giving a more accurate estimation for this addition problem? So we're trying to do 94 plus 78. 94, if I think about rounding to the nearest 10, is 94 going to be closer to 90 or 100? Well, 94, since it has a 4 here in the ones place, it's going to round down to 90. It's going to be closer to the 90. And the 78, since it has an 8 here in the ones place, it's going to round this number up to 80. So 90 and 80 are your best choices there. Rounding each number to the nearest 100 and then add the rounded numbers to estimate. So nearest 100, 532 is closer to 500, and 295, that's really close to 300. And then I would add these numbers together